Howdy folks, Yeehaw J24 here, and in the last video, I asked you guys to leave me some questions, and in this video, I'm going to be answering those questions. So, I'm not going to waste your time. We are going to go ahead and get right into these questions. So, our first question comes from Wi-Fi Part 2, and he asks, do you have any long-term plans for the channel? So, assuming Halo Infinite is a 10-year game, and in those 10 years we get plenty of content, I do foresee the channel lasting a good amount of time. I would also like to do some collaborations and things along the way, and to sort of help push the channel and get it to grow would be very nice. So I hope that answers your question. We're going to keep moving on to our next one from Victor. I will not pronounce the last name, my bad, but he says, okay, it's time for a real question, sprint or no sprint. So, assuming you're referring to the age-old question of sprinting in Halo, I would have to say no. I could literally do a whole video on why I would say no, but to keep it short, I just prefer Halo's gameplay without it. So I hope that answers your question. We're going to keep moving on. Our next one comes from Kicking Sumo 807, and he asks, Monkey better than Spartan or Spartan better than Monkey? So I've had time to think about this, and I've come to the conclusion that if the Spartan is Master Chief, that will be my vote, and if the Monkey is Craig, that will have my vote. So it all depends on who these Spartans and Monkeys are. So, but I will go ahead and give you the answer of Craig because he is supreme. So moving forward, Ben Gomez asks, why do you wear a hat? By the way, congrats on getting 100 subscribers. So thank you for that. The hat in my profile picture is to sort of help my channel stand out from the crowd a little bit. It's very unique, I feel, and I just don't really see many other content creators with Spartans with cowboy hats as their profile picture. So hope that answers your question, and we're going to move forward to a question from 8-Bit Buggy. 8-Bit Buggy is a content creator, and I recommend you go check out his stuff because he's got some cool things on his channel. How long have you been playing Halo for, and if you could change one thing about it, what would you choose? So I've been playing Halo for about 5 years or so, and if I could change one thing about it, what would I choose? I'm gonna say the atmosphere of the games, mainly the campaigns where the Forerunners were very mysterious and the Covenant felt very threatening. I feel like those tones were changed in the new Reclaimer saga that started with Halo 4. The Covenant just did not feel menacing anymore. So my fingers are crossed for Halo Infinite. The Banished seem very intimidating. They seem to have that fierceness to them, and from what I've seen of the Forerunner stuff in Halo Infinite, seems like they've taken a more reserved tone. So hope that answers your question, Mr. Buggy. And we're going to move on to a question from Calmly PL3, and I just want to say real quick, I deeply appreciate every comment, every like, every question, and this one in particular because I know Calmly in person, so it really means a lot to me to see a question from this person. And what book, if any, has inspired you? So I've come to the conclusion that the Bible has given me the most inspiration in my life, and more specifically, the book of Psalms within the Bible. There's a lot of good stuff in there, and even if you're not a religious person, I highly recommend you go check out the book of Psalms. There's a lot of good stuff in there. So hope that answers your question. Our next one comes from another content creator, Danny GG, and Danny's a great guy. He's got some good stuff on his channel. And he says 102 subs now. Let's go. Question, what's your favorite Halo game? And bonus question, what's your favorite food? So Halo 3 ODST has my favorite campaign. Halo 3 has my favorite multiplayer. And Halo 5 has my favorite Forge mode. So if I had to choose from each one of those, that's what I would choose. But if you just want one, if I had to name one game, I guess Halo 3. That would probably be my favorite. And bonus question, what's my favorite food? I really like spicy food. And out of spicy foods that I like the most, I'm a fan of spicy meats and things, so I would say hot wings. I consume quite a bit of those. So I hope that answers your question, Danny. We're going to move on to another content creator's question. And this content creator, I have actually appeared on his channel before in one video, and you can kind of barely hear me speaking in the background a little. We all played Halo together and stuff, so he asks, what's your least favorite part about doing YouTube? So my least favorite part about doing YouTube is recording and having to hear myself over and over and over again during the recording process, during the editing process. I'm just not a big fan of that part. That's definitely one of them. There's a lot of things I don't like about YouTube, but I'll just mention that as one of them. And by the way, go check out Carson Music. He is a great guy, and he has some great music and other content on his channel. So our last question comes from, I know this person as Mr. Chief Enjoyer, but his questions are, how's your day going, and what was the worst video game and the best video game you've ever played? So my day's going all right. I have a question for you now. How is your day going? What was the worst video game and the best video game you've ever played? So the worst video game I've ever played was this really weird like dog simulator, but it was not as fun as it may sound. It was like back on the PlayStation 2, I think. Really, really weird game. I don't really remember much more about it other than I hate it. And the best video game I've ever played is a very difficult question because there's so many different genres of video games and ones that I enjoy. But if I had to pick one, probably The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. I feel like that game is simply timeless, and it's amazing. It's a great game. So I hope that answers your question. Again, thank you all so much for 100 subs and all the comments, the likes, and the support. That's going to do it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Yeehaw, out.